What's up guys, Mitchell Watts with Town & Country TV, and today I'm excited to show you this. This is a completely custom build by Southern Comfort Performance, and they call it the Hi-Hat. We'll get into that a little bit here in just a second, but if you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the giveaways or contests that we've got coming up very, very soon. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about this particular truck. This is an F-150. It's based on an XLT chassis, and the reason they do that is for cost perspective. You can build it on a Platinum, you can build it on a Lariat, whatever trim level you can imagine, Southern Comfort can build it. But the reason we chose this particular truck as an XLT is because you still have things like the remote start. You still have the heated and cooled seats, the heated seats only. But you've still got a lot of amenities that you get on the XLT. It's the perfect price point versus equipment, I guess you could say that. But this particular truck, actually, because it's an XLT, starts out with a gray front grille. And what Southern Comfort does is they've actually sanded the grille, all three components, and have repainted it to match the Oxford white on the rest of the truck. Now, we'll talk about the suspension here in just a second, but I do want to show you a couple of other things. These are private label manufactured. Actually, I take that back. These are actually built in-house at Southern Comfort Performance. And so the cool part is this particular Fender Flare was made and designed specifically by them. And one of the things I absolutely love is that it's got this little extra arch right here that kind of goes and looks a little bit like the Ford Raptor does. And so that's one little design cue that I love that's on the front and on the back of the Fender Flare. So very cool stuff. Now, a side little note on this is that if you think about an F-150 that has the active park assist, meaning it can parallel park itself, there's usually a sensor that's located right here. Well, the geniuses at Southern Comfort have been able to make that sensor work inside of these particular Fender Flares. So very, very cool stuff. This particular truck happens to have the amp rate research. There we go, the amp research power step running boards, and I want to show you a cool feature about that. So I've had a couple people say, wow, hey, this is clean, but what am I supposed to do if I want to wash my truck and I want to wash the running board? It goes away when you do that. Well, the very simple answer to that is have it open, put your foot on it. It's actually designed this way so that way you can now wash the power step while the door's shut. You don't have to worry about getting the car wet on the inside. So very, very cool stuff. On the back side of the truck, you'll notice we do have the 35-inch BF Goodrich AT KO2 tires, and they're wrapped right around the Black Widow wheels. So a very, very cool style of wheel. They've got really three primary wheels that are made specifically for the Black Widow. You also have the option to go with fuel wheels or method wheels or really anything you want. Southern Comfort can do it. Very, very cool stuff there. You do have a Gibson exhaust system that is a catback exhaust system, and if you want something with a chrome tip, they can also do the chrome tip as well. Now, you can see on the back of the truck, there's really nothing that's been changed out because it is an XLT Sport Appearance package, so it's already got the color matched bumpers on the front and the rear. But one of the things that I really wanted to point out to you guys was this. This is the reason they call it the Hi-Hat. So what Ford has done is they've taken the truck, and obviously it was white to begin with, and what they've done is they've completely repainted the top side of the cab itself. And so it looks really, really nice because it's got that two-tone look to it. And the reason they came up with the Hi-Hat, at first I thought it was kind of a stupid name. I hate to say this in case Southern Comfort's watching this video, but I thought it was a stupid name at first. I was like, what does that have to do with anything? And the reason that they came up with this name is back in the old days where they would wear their high hats on top of their head, it was almost always a black hat, and that is the reason. It just kind of makes it look like a hat that is sitting on, it makes the cab look like a hat sitting on top of the truck. But I just think it kind of gives it that Land Rover-esque look on the F-150 and kind of completes the look of what an F-150 should look like. Very different from what we've done in the past with the Southern Comfort, the Black Widow Military Tan Edition, which, by the way, if you haven't watched that video, I will link that down in the description. We even did one with the Battleship Gray color, so very, very cool. There we go, a little horsepower in the background. I don't know if that picked up on the microphone. But anyway, so let's come back to the front of the truck. I'm gonna show you exactly what they've done to the suspension to fit these 35-inch BFG AT KO2 tires. Then we're gonna hop on the inside of it and go from there. So on the front end of the truck, you can see this is a Fabtech 6-inch suspension lift that is made specifically for Southern Comfort. That's the reason they're able to get their own specific branding on the truck itself. Now, the nice thing about this suspension system is that it keeps all of the proper geometry of the truck and it realigns everything. And one of the things that, if you've watched any of our videos before, you'll know that when they do this suspension system, they tweak it, and they put it on the alignment rack. When they do that, they tighten everything down, and then they mark the specific bolts for where it should be. So that way, if this alignment gets knocked out of place for whatever reason, they can quickly and easily identify that without ever having to even put it on the alignment rack. So it really helps them identify issues without taking a lot of time. So it's the small touches of detail that Southern Comfort does a really good job with, and kind of shows that to you. Before we hop on the inside, I do want to showcase this to you. This is actually the heat extractor from Black Widow. It's made specifically for the Black Widow, but it's from Southern Comfort. That is a functional heat extractor. Now, it was designed really primarily just to look like the Raptor hood, but it is actually functional. I can't stand hood scoops and things like that are not functional, but this one truly is. As you can kind of see, you've got those 3 slots right there that allows the heat to extract outside of the engine bay. Now, speaking of the engine bay, this particular truck features the 5.0. It's bone stock. There's nothing done to it. Now, there is 373 gears in the front and the rear end, so it still feels like it has a ton of power, even with the 35 BF Goodrichs. But you have the ability to go with a Roush Performance supercharger that we can install here at the dealership that is good for 650 horsepower, and you keep a full 3-year, 36,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty. So very, very cool stuff there. All right, let's do this. Let's hop on the inside of the vehicle. I'm going to show you what Southern Comfort has done there to really kind of tie this thing all together. The first thing you'll notice is you actually have these beautiful floor mats that are brand new from Southern Comfort. They're actually a Black Widow rubber laser cut mat. Now, this is a WeatherTech mat that they've had, once again, private label manufactured specifically for Southern Comfort. Now, this is another thing that I absolutely love on this truck. This is one of the things they just recently started doing. This is a road wire seat. That's the name of the company that produces the leather. I absolutely love this cross stitching in certain areas on the F-150. And I will tell you that as I sat in this truck, this is one of the very first aftermarket leather kits that I've actually sat in that truly felt like it was maybe feeling a little bit more bolstered, or actually a little more comfortable. So it's really kind of unique. You need to actually have a chance to sit in one of those if you haven't already done so. All right, so let's turn our attention to the center console. You'll notice this particular truck, as I've already mentioned, is an XLT Sport Appearance package. That's why you get the center console shifter. That is automatically standard with the XLT Sport Appearance package. What Southern Comfort has done is they've taken this entire center console out, and they've sanded and repainted it that high gloss black to match the hi-hat color on the outside of the truck. So very, very cool stuff there. They even did that with the air vents and all over the interior dashboard. And speaking of dashboard, I want to show you this feature real quick. This is fantastic. This is a custom Black Widow instrument cluster. So as you're looking at it, if you look at it closely, you can actually see a Black Widow logo on either side of those instrument clusters, and it looks gorgeous because it's not too gaudy. It's kind of like a ghost flame, if you remember those from back in the day, where they're just not over the top. It's very well done, and it just gives it that extra little cue on the vehicle itself. And the last thing that I want to talk about is the Black Widow stitched headrest, which, once again, the only way to get that Black Widow logo on any of this is to purchase an actual Black Widow from Southern Comfort Performance. So there you have it. That is our quick little video, our quick little walk around on the 2018 Hi-Hat Black Widow SCA Performance. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and you're feeling like being awesome, make sure to smash that subscribe button and also hit the thumbs up. We always like that. But the most important thing is leave some comments down below on what kind of videos you'd like for us to cover. Is there a specific truck that you want us to cover? Something that we've had a lot of people said that, hey, pit the F-150 up against the new Dodge Ram. That video is coming, so make sure you are subscribed. I'm getting tongue-tied here. And hopefully you enjoyed this little one-take look at the new 2018 F-150 Hi-Hat.